First and foremost, I don't want to hear another fucking word about anybody complain about this movie right here. This is way better than Halloween Ends. I will stand on that grave and die on that hill till the day I die. For the last couple of days, I've been hearing a lot of things about Halloween Ends, this year's newest Halloween film, picking up in the new David Gordon Green trilogy that's been going on since 2018. Of course, they tie back to the original 78 movie. We have Halloween 2018, which is the first of this trilogy. Then we have Halloween Kills, which a lot of people hated last year. I don't hate it as much as everybody else. And Halloween Ends, for the last 2 days, has haunted me. Someone almost spoiled it for me. Managed to avoid that for the most part, but I went into this film very weary because I looked at Rotten Tomatoes, I looked at IMDb, and holy shit. I've been watching the original film here for most of my life. I've had this DVD copy most of my life. I've had a VHS copy that my mom owned back in the day from Blockbuster Video. Many times in my life I've watched that particular one, and I love Halloween for the most part, and I love a lot of films in the franchise, even though I think most of them, except for like part 3, are really flawed. Last year we had 5 of these 4K sets right here that we got a release of. They had really great covers. I went through this year when I found out about these things and bought all of them, as a matter of fact. And even this year, we had a new set that had 3 of them. Halloween 6, H2O, Resurrection. I had a really good time going through this. And I will tell you right now, I don't care what anybody says, I think this is one of the weakest trilogies of this entire franchise. It might be well made for the most part, but it's one of the weakest, and Halloween Ends is no different whatsoever. First and foremost, I do want to say one thing real quick. I hope that you'll understand this. If you haven't seen the film yet, there are a lot of dumb things in this film, a lot of things that are kind of spoiler-ish that I can't really talk about, even to talk about the main basic plot. So I want to avoid those things. I don't want to really ruin the time for you, and I want you to be able to go into this, even though you've kind of heard how tainted it is by me and by many people, without knowing pretty much anything at all. What I would ask for your benefit is to please just turn off the video, go watch the movie, whether you stream it, go to the theaters, whatever you plan on doing, and then come back, talk with me about the movie in the comments section, watch the video, whatever you plan on doing. I would love to hear what you have to say down below. So do that now, I guess. As it's been reported many a time from David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, everybody, Jamie Lee Curtis, everybody involved with the flick, this film picks up 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills, which I don't understand why we did that to begin with. It really doesn't seem like it was worth it. You could have just had the entire trilogy take place in one night, because Halloween Kills took place the same night Halloween 2018 did. No. Instead of doing that, we had to subvert expectations. The good old Last Jedi, Rian Johnson stupidity that everybody thinks is a good idea, who happens to also be a hipster in real life. Let's really start at the plot and then talk about a lot of my other problems with this movie. Halloween Ends isn't really a Halloween movie. It's more of just a straight out John Carpenter love fest of a movie that is inspired by a lot of things. One in particular film that you probably know, and a book you probably know, that I like that aspect of this movie. I won't get into it too much because I don't want to spoil things for you, like I said, but I have a lot to say, and I'm really gonna have to restrain to make this video. Halloween Ends, like I said, picks up 4 years after the previous movie, and Laurie Strode has now moved on. Yes, from all the things that have happened, how she went into hermit mode and everything back in the day, now she has become a regular old suburb living person, living with her granddaughter, Allison. Everybody's here to play their roles again. And no joke, Laurie is like a completely different person than she was in 2018 in Kills. You would think with the events of Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills that by now she would be completely different because of what happened, maybe even worse in her tunnel of hermitry than she is at this current moment in those 2 previous films. No, that's not what happened here. We went a completely different direction to subvert expectations. I'm already seeing scumbags in the community, and probably in the comments section before I even upload this video, saying that the Halloween community of fans are toxic. Shut the hell up. I want it to be known I don't hate Halloween Ends, but it's got a lot of stupid shit in it. There's a character we all kind of knew about going into this film named Corey Cunningham, and I actually think the actor's good. I don't know his name, but I think everything around this character is mostly solid, but not good for a Halloween film. He's kind of a bullied young man. He's out of high school and whatever. He has a very tragic incident that happens in the first like 5 minutes of the film. It's tragic, but I laughed at what happened in the execution of that. Because of this tragic incident, there's kind of a misunderstanding, if you will, and Corey kind of gets into a situation where people in the town know his name and they really don't like him, kind of like Michael Myers a little bit. Eventually, Corey meets Allison. He starts to fall a little bit for her. She starts to fall a little bit for him. She's working at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, you know, the same one from the original Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills as well. Their chemistry in the film I really like. I think it works for the most part, aside from some clear-cut writing issues in this movie, which is a big problem. Character continuity doesn't fucking exist in this film. I stand by that. Even if it's in this trilogy, it doesn't stand with Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. There's a lot of characters that are completely neglected for this movie. Characters, as a matter of fact, that were set up in the previous couple of movies. Do you remember Hawkins? He's barely in this. You remember the mayor with the cowboy hat? He's barely in this. Do you remember Lindsay Wallace? She's barely in this too. To take all of these other things that were set up as pawns on this chessboard of a game over 3 movies and then just push like half the board to the side and ignore that, it was a stupid idea. It's a bad idea. It isn't a Halloween film in my opinion. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even call this a horror movie. It's more of a drama, if you will. It's character driven, but with characters we've never met before, even though we technically have. And that kind of ruins this movie a little bit. The biggest insult to me as a fan, and to most fans I think so far, and why the film is rating so low, is what the hell they did to Michael Myers. I'll say it again, I don't want to hear a fucking word from anybody ever again online. I swear if you bring it up, I will throw Halloween Ends in your face forever. With all of these issues with writing and with character stuff, and even some of the performances because of how goofy they can get in some aspects, kind of like 2018, kind of like Kills. David Gordon Green's direction is fine. I think the locations and settings are fine. I think some of this stuff, the look of it, is fine. It's everything else surrounding that that's the problem here. Another big issue too is there's not much killing in this film, and when you get it, it's not really brutal, it's not really gory or bloody as a movie like we had for the previous 2 films. Cut out some language, this movie could have been PG-13, for real. I think one of the best things about the film that actually was good was the music. The music's fantastic, John Carpenter's tied to that. I'm not surprised. That music is great. It's some of the best music we've had in a while in a Halloween film, but you know what the real trick to that is? It's not Halloween music. It's not the Alice in Chains song from 2018 and reutilized for Kills. It's nothing like that. You don't even really have the Halloween theme song in this movie that much. Again, kind of like this movie. One of the biggest issues with this movie is the fact that it's kind of boring. Nothing really happens aside from the character drama, which should make a good movie, but it doesn't really do that. It doesn't really work as a new Halloween movie in this trilogy. Overall, at the end of the day, Halloween Ends is a watchable movie. It has moments to it, but it's a little slow. But I will tell you this, no matter what anybody says to you, it will betray you. If you're a fan of the original movie, it betrays you. If you're a fan of the cult trilogy of Thorn movies or whatever, it betrays you. If you're a fan of David Gordon Green's films, it betrays you too. If some of the elements that I have problems with in this movie were introduced 2 movies ago and kind of carried through some of the things like the prologue of this movie, if they were in the previous movies, I would have been cool with that. We could have done something really special here, but it sucks for the most part. It's not as bad as this movie right here, or this producer's cut right here, but I'll tell you what, it's still a slap in the face to massive, lifelong fans like myself who've been watching these films since I was like 8 years old. It has its moments, but overall, even by the ending of it, I'm kind of pissed off with what we got. This is the one time in history, unlike Last Jedi, that everybody can sit on Rotten Tomatoes and see that both the critic scores and the audience scores are about the same level. Dude, that should teach you everything you need to know about this movie already. And don't even get me started on this new poster for the new movie. Fuck that thing too. It looks photoshopped. All of the emotion, all of the tension that was built up in the previous 2 films to this that wasn't executed there but should have been here, all of the missing heartfeltness should have been in this movie, and it ain't there, and therefore you probably shouldn't be there either unless you're a massive die-hard fan like myself, and you're still gonna be mad about it. If I had to rate Halloween Ends on a 5-star basis, I would give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I don't think a lot of you guys understand what happened here. This is a really weird year for me. I never thought there would be a year as a guy who's not a Predator fan who loved Prey more than a Halloween movie. And now that Blumhouse is done with their trilogy, I assume they're completely done, I guess it's time, guys, in about 2 or 3 years to start all over again, right? Be ready, because that's probably what's gonna happen now. Have you seen Halloween Ends? I'd love to hear your thoughts, mainly your rants, down in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. Happy Halloween, and goodbye.